going as per your planned schedule or not. Okay, so planning is basically a blueprint of what you want to do. Okay, so like that we had seen that. Then we had looked at roles of managers, where we discussed about um, different roles played by manager, like entrepreneurial role, leader role, figurehead role, negotiator role, monitor role, information disseminator role, like that. Okay, so after that we have discussed about 14 principles of management, basically given by Henry Fayol. So here are the 14 principles. Let me just explain some three or four. Okay, so if you start with the first one, division of labor. So Fayol says, as much as possible, divide the work into small parts and allow each person to specialize. Okay, and if you look at authority and responsibility, the principle says it should match in the organization. More authority, less responsibility is not good. More responsibility, less authority is not good. So it should go hand in hand. Okay, authority is the right to give orders. Responsibility is your obligation to do the task asked from you. Then we looked at unity of command, which means every subordinate should get command from one boss only. Otherwise what happens? Chaos, confusion, duplication of work, division of loyalty, and all that. Okay. Unity of direction, basically we discussed that it is one team, one goal. Okay, if every member of the team, his efforts are channelized towards one goal, things become easier. Okay, equity is a combination of fairness, kindness, justice. Okay, like I told you, there are many departments. We cannot give everybody 2 crore project, telling that everybody is equal to me. So looking at some criteria, I have to give someone less, someone more. That doesn't mean I'm discriminating. That's fair enough. Okay, ENC 240 students and biomedical 25 students. I cannot tell all are equal. I can give only 2 crores equally. No. Okay, depending on some ratio, you're doing some things. So that is your equity. Order, as much as possible, try to keep things in order. Your productivity will increase. Like we saw about material order and social order. Okay, discipline, there should be some kind of rules, regulations, and systems in place. Otherwise, it will be difficult to run an organization. If somebody breaks some rule, you should punish him. Because of that, that person will learn, plus others also will know that we will also face the same consequence. So this kind of things is very important in organization. Okay, you cannot tell four of my friends have started this business, so they are my own friends. I can chill and come at 10 o'clock in the morning. No. Okay, there are some rules. You should report at 9. You should report at 9. Okay, initiative. If someone is taking some initiative in the organization, encourage them. Don't put them down. Otherwise, new ideas, new thoughts will not come. New perspective will not be seen. You will become stagnant. Like I told you, the concept of open electives, the overhead projectors right now, somebody's initiative. Okay, fair remuneration, make sure that you are paying your employees fairly. Okay, so based on their qualification, based on their extra effort, whatever, make sure that you are paying them fairly. So that is also important. Stability of tenure, another meaning is job security. If you remember, okay, as much as possible, make people feel that their job is permanent. Okay, only then they will try to learn new things. They think that I'm here for long, so their dedication level will be different. On the contrary, if you tell people that you may be kicked out anytime, so how will be the attitude? Okay, scalar chain, there is a certain link for every communication to pass through in an organization. In case of emergency, you can break it. If you remember, I told you, you want to cancel a class next hour, so as per rules, there are so many things. Each person of the class has to sign. It has to go to the faculty, then HOD, then associate director, then joint director, some kind of procedure. By the time it comes, it will be next week. You wanted next hour free. So the faculty takes the decision. Okay, so in case of emergency, you can break the chain. The next principle is subordination of individual interest to general interest, meaning keep organization first. Your interest can wait. Like if you remember, I told you, I have alumni meet at Goa. I have to go today afternoon itself. But if I go, so many things will be pending. Portions will not be over. Sessionals has to be held. Question papers have been printed. So if I go, my class students will suffer. I cannot reduce the portion because question paper is ready. I cannot give grace marks. Others will oppose. So many things. So what is the best thing? Finish the task and go. Okay, organization first, because so many people are associated with it. Okay, your interest can wait. Esprit de corps, that is your creating teams which are harmonious, no bias. Okay, some good teams, friendship and all is there. Okay, harmony is there. Don't discriminate North Indian, South Indian. Okay, we all youngsters one team. We will teach seniors a lesson, or we seniors are one team. We'll see these juniors. No, nothing like that. We are one team. Okay, centralization and decentralization. As much as possible, push power down the chain. Okay, instead of one person holding all the decision making capabilities, push the power down and let many people handle it. Because of that, your communication will be easy. If you remember, I told you long back, before it became Mahe, only principal, vice principal were there. All decisions taken by them. Now they have branched out and decentralized. Associate director academics, associate director alumni, associate director some other things, so many things. So they take decision at that level. Only when it is so important, they take it to the next level. Okay, so if these kind of decentralization things are there, organization can move faster. Okay, so that is a all these. This is the crux of those 14 principles. Okay, so this much if you can understand, well and good. Okay, just a quick glance. A quick glance at the roles played by manager. Okay, interpersonal, informational, decisional. Figurehead role, some kind of inauguration, tech tattva, rebels, your registrar comes and all that. Okay, leader role, manager acting as a leader, inspiring everyone. Liaison, the manager is face of the organization for, like I told you, placement and licensing officer, your Infosys or TCS or something comes. He is the point of contact. He, connects between the academia and the industry. Okay, informational role, like I told you, monitor, people scan for information outside. What are the competitors doing, what is this college doing, what is that college doing. Or if you are into say footwear business, what are, say you are Nike, you are constantly looking at what Reebok is doing or someone else is doing. Okay, are they going for aggressive marketing, should we use that, they have come with some new model, can we launch that. Okay, that is kind of information gathering. Okay, disseminator role, passing that information in the organization. Privileged information, you're passing it in the organization. Spokesperson, I told you, Congress spokesperson, BJP spokesperson, BCCI spokesperson. He is the face of the organization for the outside world, who gives authentic information required by the stakeholders. Okay, stakeholders need not be only the shareholders. If you take MIT, you are stakeholder, I am stakeholder, your parents are stakeholders. Okay, so they want some information. What is happening? When is the class starting? When is the assignment? When is the quiz? When will be the labs? This and all. So the spokesperson gives the information to the outside world. Like the decisional role, manager is an entrepreneur. He keeps some programs ready. When this is our next program, what to do? Like that. Okay, disturbance handler. Sometimes suddenly the supplier has gone bankrupt. He's not able to give you raw materials. You'll have to switch to another supplier. You have produced more, your inventory is full, you cannot stop production, you have to look for another inventory. Or your client doesn't have money now, but do some kind of arrangement so that he buys now and pays everything later. Some kind of disturbance is there, the manager is handling it with benefit to the organization. Okay, resource allocator, like I told you, different departments need different resources, so the manager tactfully allows the resources to be distributed. Okay, negotiator role, sometimes, like I told you, when you are joining, you are asking for 25, the HR will tell 20. Okay, and another experienced person tells 70, HR may tell 65. Okay, some kind of negotiation. Your supplier is giving you something at higher rate, you have to negotiate and get it at lower price. Okay, we will buy more, give it less rate. We are giving you money in every 30 days instead of 60 days. Give some respect to that, reduce the price for us. Okay, some kind of things. So this is related to all these managerial roles. Okay, next what we can discuss. Sorry. Just quick glance, types of managers. First line, middle line, and top level managers. Okay, first level managers are the one who deal with day-to-day activities. Middle level are the ones who supervise these people. Top level are the ones who supervise these both, and they deal with your vision, mission, and all that. Okay, so if you look at it like this, different levels of management require different type of skills. Okay, so generally it is believed that at the bottom level, more technical skills is required. When you move up the ladder, you need more conceptual and design skills. Okay, because you will be conceptualizing, designing, and pushing down the chain. So the ones at the lower level need not have that kind of vision or whatever, but whatever you send them, they should be able to decode and implement it. Okay, so generally this is believed like this, but human skills same across all the levels. Okay, your empathy, sympathy, communication, all those things same, equal at all the levels. Let's just have a glance at your planning. Okay, in the planning chapter, we saw different steps in planning. Okay, 8 different steps. Being aware of the opportunity, in light of what? What kind of opportunity you're talking about? In light of the market, the competitors, what are our strengths, what are our weaknesses, how we can encash on what we have. So all these are, being aware of the opportunity and deciding something. Okay, then setting your objectives or goals so you know in which direction you are going, by when, what you have to do. Selecting the planning premises. Okay, selecting some kind of boundary. We will operate in this region, or we'll operate in this budget, we'll operate in this dimension. Okay, we'll not go to something else. We'll move in this direction only. Okay, then identifying different ways of doing it, choosing the best way of doing it, and then going ahead with implementation. And then we have some supporting plans, which are the smaller plans which help your bigger plans. For example, if I tell you I want to start a lab, finally you decided which lab to start. You have choices, options. We'll start C++, we'll start R, we'll start Python, we'll start something else, and then you decided to start something with Python. Okay, fine. Now the supporting plans are how many PCs you need, how many software licenses you need, from whom will you buy it, when will they install it, when will you start the lab, what kind of furniture, how many people to look after. Okay, so all these are small supporting plans which help you in executing that bigger plan. Okay, then comes the budgets. Okay, what kind of money you are going to invest, what will be the daily kind of operational expenses, what will be the expenditure of these licenses, and all those things. Okay, so this is your steps in planning. Yeah, so when we talk of plans, we spoke about something called single use plan and standing plans. Okay, single use plans usually, one time use. Standing plans, it's usually there, you repeat it again and again. Okay, just to quickly brief you through this. Okay, vision, all these are types of plans. Okay, vision is a long term plan where you want to be in 5 or 10 years. You can look at it that way. Okay, mission is why do you exist. Okay, what is it that you are doing now, that kind of thing. If you look at objectives, you remember I told you objectives are certain end results towards which you are working. Okay, objective of this class is to do this, to teach you this, to investigate this, to examine this. Okay, so at the end of this class I should meet that objective. Same way what you do in your project. Okay, these are the objectives first you set, and then you will measure against that, did you meet that or not. So when we speak about objectives in organizational terms, we spoke about verifiable and non-verifiable objectives. Verifiable objectives are some kind of objectives with numericals attached to it. Okay, we had some good doubt during that class. We had discussed about it. My objective is to increase the sales by 10%. Okay, increase the sales by 5%. Like that. Some numerical should be there. Those are verifiable objectives. Non-verifiable, I want to increase the sales. Okay. So people tell, give me verifiable objectives. Okay, strategy is a broad plan for the entire organization. Okay, next 5 years, 7 years, what we want to do, where we want to, expand our business, which territory we have to go, that kind of things. Policies, I told you, whenever you're talking about policy, the word should be guidelines. Okay, policies are certain guidelines which help you in taking some decision. Okay, if you remember, I told you the policy of MIT is promoting from within. So when a vacancy arises, first they scan inside. Do we have a reliable or credible person for this post? If yes, sort it here itself. Otherwise, go outside and search. See, that depends on organization to organization. If you remember, I told you in this Dakshin Kannada belt, Karavali belt, there are some 21 to 23 engineering colleges, out of which 4 5 are the veterans, like existing from long time. Others are recently 4 5 6 7 old 7 years old. They don't have that kind of manpower, that kind of strength, so they scan for people outside. Okay, anyone leaving from MIT, we will give them HOD post. Anyone returning from MIT, we will give them HOD post. Anyone in good position leaving from MIT, will give them the director post, like that. So their policy is scanning for people from outside. MIT is first within. Okay, so that is policy. Okay, what is your policy for terminating someone? If you want to terminate, what are the things you are following? So policies are some guidelines. Okay, procedures are some kind of activities in chronological order. Okay, like we discussed, what is the procedure to change the room? You're in 7th block, you want to go to 8th block. What is the procedure? You cannot simply take your bag and land there and tell, "Main aa gaya, this is my room, I want this." No, first talk to one person, find out that is it allotted to someone, on what basis it is allotted, is there a price difference, how will you pay it, whatever, so many things. Okay, so there is a procedure for that. So this is some activities in chronological sequence. Rules are certain do's and don'ts. Okay, like I told you, no smoking. That means no smoking in this area. Wear helmet on the shop floor. Wear shoes on the shop floor. Okay, no, shorts and bermudas in academic area. So if you are found with that, some may come and shout at you. Some may not bother, but there may be some person who is offended by that and he may argue. And if you argue back, counter attack, whatever happens, he is right, because there is a rule saying that in academic area you are not supposed to come in this kind of dresses, like that. Okay, programs are a mix of all these things. You're starting a new program, new branch you're starting, so all these things combined. Okay, budgets are some numbers associated with your plans. Okay, so this much broadly is enough for you. Same things. Strategy is your long-term plan, tactical plans are short plans. Not needed now. Now let me take you quickly through MBO. Okay, if you remember, MBO is management by objectives. Okay, certain objectives are set, your performance is matched against that objective, and then you are given some incentive or some reduction in incentive or whatever. Okay, for quiz, this much is enough for you. Okay, if you are looking for some key result areas, market standing, innovation, service, quality, fine. Okay, for quiz, you just understand what is verifiable and non-verifiable objective. See, I told you just now, same thing. Okay, some numbers attached, that becomes verifiable. Fine. So next we will look at a quick glance at strategic planning tools. Okay, if you remember, we had 4 strategic planning tools, starting from critical question analysis, SWOT analysis, business portfolio analysis or BCG matrix, and then you had the Porter's model for industry analysis. See, in critical question analysis, we looked at certain questions that the company asked themselves, the answers to which drive the business. Okay, like what business we are in, who are our customers, how are our customers buying, and all that. Okay, SWOT analysis, strength, weakness, opportunity, threat. You are jotting it down. Okay, then you go to TOWS matrix and then make 4 different strategies. Okay, so in SWOT analysis, strength and weakness is internal to the organization. Opportunity and threat are external to the organization. Okay, so in BCG matrix, we had market standing versus market growth rate. You plot against each other, you get 4 quadrants: star, cash cow, dogs, and question mark. Okay, as simple as that. Stars give you high businesses, cash cow. It was a star before, now it has come down. You have to encash it now. Okay. Question mark is maybe sometimes applied to new kind of businesses. You don't know how it is going to grow, how it will react. So you're kind of a dilemma. Okay, fine. So in portfolio business Porter's model, we looked at three. Okay, focus strategy, differentiation strategy, overall cost strategy. In overall cost strategy, you're charging less and trying to capture the market. Okay, charging less than the competitor, selling more and making profit. Okay, focus strategy, you're focusing on a specific segment, like kids segment. You're making toys for them and selling it. Okay, differentiation strategy, you're looking at one specific segment of people and giving them something different, which will make them stand out from the crowd. Okay, like everybody doesn't want to have the same nano car or same watch or same shoes. They want some, kind of luxury and some kind of a feature that makes them stand out, that gives them a thrill. Okay, Rado watch or whatever, so many things. Normal watch is a watch, but why that jewel studded watch and all? Because people want to be different. That kind of market is that you cater to them and charge luxury premium. Okay, charge a price and they are happy with it. Okay, so they get a unique feeling. That I mean, unique. What do you call it? Unique. They look very unique from the crowd. Okay, so that is. Yeah, one more thing. So when we spoke about strategy, we looked at three different kind of things: corporate level strategy, business level strategy, and functional level strategy. Okay, corporate level is the more broader one. What business we are in? Are we into education, or are we into films, or are we into steel industry, like that? It's a corporate level. Business level, you're looking at something inside your business. Okay, business level strategy. How do we compete with our next best competitor? How can we stand out? What different things we can do? Functional level strategy, you know see, suppose you decide that you want to add 100 people in the next 2 years. You're growing, your business is growing, you want to add 1,000 new people in your workforce by the end of next year. So you're going for rigorous hiring and all that. So this will be your functional level strategy. Okay, so your plan is to expand, have 3-4 different colleges in different regions in India. Okay, so that is your business strategy. We are going to go for aggressive expansion. 4-5 different states will start municipal colleges. Okay, so functional level will be how will you support that? To start all these kind of things, you need manpower, you need infrastructure and all that. How will you start doing it? So we're going to hire 1,000 people. So that becomes your functional strategy. Okay, fine. Yeah, this much is good enough for your assignment today, for your quiz. Yeah, if you have any doubts, you can ask me.
Sir, I have one doubt, and I
Yeah.
have sent it out on the chat, on the personal chat. Should I repeat the question?
See, what did I say? When the word guideline comes, what is the answer? Ayush.
Yes, sir.
When the word guideline comes, what is the answer? What type of plan it is when we use the word guidelines? It's policy. Okay. Ayush, you got it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so the answer is policy. That's why I again repeated that. Whenever some word comes guidelines, the type of plan is policy. Okay. Yeah. Any other questions? If you have no, let me just download your attendance now for 1 minute. Okay. Now, if you have no questions, you can mute yourself and you can continue studying. I'll post the link here at after 350. Sorry, after 2:55. After 2:55, anytime I'll post it. Is that okay? Be here online itself and you mute yourself and you just study something. Is it okay? Anyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah. Go ahead. I'll be here itself. So mute yourself and prepare something. So the model, those who joined late, 20 questions will be there, half mark each. So you will be evaluated for 10 marks, and later it will be reduced to 5. Okay, so it's very simple. I know you can crack it, so but prepare for me some time. Okay, I'll be muting myself. I'll be somewhere here around. Okay, see you at 2:55.